Welcome to the United States of Tiffany. Our commentary offers a humorous take on wrestling. Please note, we're not bullying or attacking the wrestlers. We're engaging with the choreographed sport and its storylines. Our jokes and observations are about the characters and storylines, not the real people behind them. Tourists and citizens alike, welcome. Enjoy the show, and remember, it's all in good fun.
Out the shower. KJ, you left all that soap in the shower. You gotta go rinse that shower out. Okay, y'all. Since Raw was short and sweet, I'm going to make this very short and sweet. Hello to everybody coming in. I appreciate y'all coming in to listen to me rant and rave about wrestling today. Okay, so we're going to make this simple because not a lot happened on Monday Night Raw, at least not a lot that will make you want to like go back and watch like whatever was missed, if that makes sense, because it really wasn't a lot that was missed, but it was really predictable if I'm going to be fair, but you did miss some things. So let's just get into what happened on the show, at least what was advertised for Monday Night Raw and how that played out. Liv Morgan was advertised for Kairi Sane today. She was scheduled to face off against Kairi right before the men's fatal four-way match, but unfortunately for Liv Morgan, due to a freak accident, it really was a freak accident because she fell correctly. It's just whatever was going on in terms of the damage in terms of her arm. It could not support all of her weight, and she ended up dislocating her shoulder in this match with Kairi Sane. She was immediately pulled away from the match with the doctors, and the match was scrapped. They went on ahead as planned and proceeded forward with the fatal four-way, but Liv Morgan is going to be out for a foreseeable amount of time. I say she should be out for a few weeks. A dislocation, while it can be very, very difficult for some people, I don't believe this is the arm or the shoulder that Liv Morgan injured before. So this dislocation just might need a little bit of more rest. So she might be given 2 to 3 weeks. She could be out for a couple of months. Who knows? Hopefully it's just a few weeks. But given the fact that Liv Morgan was supposed to face off against Nikki Bella and her sister in about a month from now, I'm hoping that she'll be cleared and ready to go by then. But obviously, she's not going to be back for a couple of weeks at bare minimum. Hopefully, she'll be healed and ready to go soon. But we need to be more focused on Liv Morgan's health and making sure that when she is coming back, that she's 100% ready to go. So, Liv Morgan, get well. We hope that you are resting because you just got injured. So, I hope you rest and get yourself together. Injuries are never fun. I don't like when anybody gets injured. So I hope that she can heal and be back good as new. Okay. But she came out there earlier and she was talking about Nikki Bella. And she's very proud of herself and how she took out Nikki Bella. I have told y'all before, I have no dog in this fight. And I truly don't give a damn about either person in the fight. I really don't. But this was all thwarted by Io Sky, mainly because, Liv Morgan felt some type of way when Nikki Bella didn't mention her in terms of the newest talent that was able to come in, kick the door down, and really solidify the women's division on Raw, and more specifically, the women's division in WWE as a whole, as a number one, if not one of the best contenders for a women's division, period. She didn't like that. She felt like her contributions to the women's roster were just as good, if not better, and she would prefer better than anybody else's. So when Nikki Bella didn't acknowledge her, she felt slighted. So when she saw that Io Sky gave Nikki Bella some love, whatever the case may be, she didn't like that either because she felt like Io Sky was kissing ass. I don't know why she felt that way, because seeing as how Io gains nothing by telling Nikki Bella that they paved the way for them, she gains nothing from that. Neither does Nikki Bella, if we're being fair. All she, gains is a nice little pat on the back from somebody who came up after her. But it is what it is. Now, as she proceeded to run down everybody else and claim that she's the reason why the division is as great as it is, and that it's her division now, and Nikki Bella no longer runs the division, she made it very, very clear that she was going after Io Sky and her championship. I'm not quite sure why, seeing as how you've solidified yourself, as you put it, as the greatest tag team champion of all time. It's just pure greed at this point that you want to go after the women's world championship, and you already have a championship that you should be defending. Now, Io came out there and she was just like, girl, if you want the championship, you can just steal it like you stole Dominic Mysterio. And I was like, oh, T's been clocked. And she was like, Io, just hand it over. Okay. It's not like you want to defend it anyway. Like, I'm going to take it. So you might as well just give it to me now. Save yourself the embarrassment and the trouble and just hand me the title. And Io was like, girl, you want the title? Girl, you want it? Okay. Here you go. Here you go, sis. Right? It's cute. It's got a nice little weight to it. Now I'm gonna drop kick your ass and take my championship back, and then I'm gonna kick you in the back of your head and your man in the back of your head. And that's exactly what happened. Down to the letter. That's exactly what happened. It was like, girl, did you even try? And didn't. You didn't. But it is what it is. Now, Liv Morgan gave Cobra back her marching orders. She told her, you take your ass out there and you win this, okay? You go out there and you dominate, okay? You win this match. Now, I don't know why she seemed to think that Cobra back was going to be able to contend with Stephanie Vaquer and Asuka coming back. Now Asuka came back, baby. Asuka came back like she ain't never left. Asuka came back like she ain't tired. Asuka came back like she ain't missed a beat. Okay, Asuka's living her best life right now. She ain't got time. She ain't got time for the BS. Not now. Now they haven't updated the graphics for Queen and King of the Ring just yet because they just won it. So I don't have the updated graphic just yet. But Asuka is the winner of this match, and it was no easy feat for her. She had to contend with a very fresh Stephanie back here, and of course Raquel Rodriguez thought she had everything in the bag because she got her big bite, but that did not happen because I told you, just like you decided to interfere in the match with Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley last Monday, a receipt was had. And a receipt was given, okay? Because Rhea Ripley came out there and pulled her big ass out there and then hit her with a riptide for a thank you, okay? And then watched Asuka after she threw her back in the ring, after she hit her with the riptide, watched Asuka pin her, okay? If that ain't messy, I don't know what is, honey, okay? That was messy boots. But I love that for her because, see, my thing is this: if Rhea had did something to you specifically, I wouldn't say anything. I'd just be like, "Well, you're gonna have to get that hoe back at the next turn." But it was you who inserted yourself in her business because you didn't want to see your homegirl get pinned. When all your homegirl had to do was just listen to Roxanne, and you should have sacrificed Roxanne to the damn gods and let her get her ass whooped in the match. Okay, but you too busy being dumb, worrying about Dominic Mysterio and who he fucking to be focused on what's going on at hand. Okay. Now neither one of you hoes is in the tournament to be queen of the ring. Neither one of you. And it's all because of your own stupidity. That is your fault. Okay. You're dumbs. You're dumbs as hells. Okay. Now, let me see the comments. Let me see. Don said, and then it's Randy versus Sammy, right? Correct. Randy versus Sammy will happen on SmackDown along with Oscar versus Bliss. And then what they're going to do is they split them up. So instead of having them wrestle that Friday, they're wrestling Monday. So they're going to have Cargill and Roxanne wrestle on Monday, along with Jay Uso and Cody Rhodes wrestling on Monday. So that's how that's going to go. If you hear a voice, it's just my nephew. He's on his own phone. Anyways, so we got that out the way. Okay. But like I said, Asuka got the W in the tournament, in the fatal four way. She got the W and she got it on Raquel. You see Rhea right there in the background, just sitting real pretty. Now they interviewed Asuka after everything was over, and Asuka basically said, "You know what? My fire didn't die, ho." She said, "I ain't went nowhere. I ain't going away. I ain't gonna never be going nowhere." But she said, "Let me tell you something. I'm gonna be queen of the ring, and ain't nobody ready for Asuka." Mm-hmm. Empress of the Ring sound real good right about now, don't it? Well, hold your horses. She ain't got there yet. She ain't got there yet. She still got to go through Bliss, which I'm gonna be honest with you, babe. I don't think that's gonna be a bad matchup. I think that's gonna be pretty good. I think that's gonna be pretty good. Anyways, let's get back into the mess, okay? So Gunther came out there to gloat. I'm gonna be honest with you, baby. I was not about to listen to Gunther talk a lot of cash shit about him beating Jey Uso. I'm just not. It's not conducive, nor do it matter to me at this point. I'm just not interested. So Gunther was running his mouth, and basically the fans called on Goldberg, and he was like, "No, I put that old man out of his misery in front of his family in Atlanta." That's when Goldberg came out there, and Goldberg said some shit, which I'm be honest with you, baby, I didn't listen to that either. But then when he said, I got some old business I gotta take care of with you because your ass, you got on my damn, you got me together in front of my family in Atlanta. So it's gonna be me and you in Atlanta at Saturday Night Main Event. And I said, let me see if I can get this right. Y'all made Jey Uso drop his championship to Gunther. Y'all made Jey Uso drop his championship to Gunther so that Gunther and Goldberg can fight for the title. Is that what we saying? Is that what it is? Hmm. This long ass comment section that Don got to hear is fucking crazy. He's singing a song that Tisha Campbell song that she performed on that talk show, Jared, the one that be making fun of her with. I'm 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 still here. Oh shit. Here. She was trying to dance so much and jiggling and shit. I'm I'm still here. Here. She was going out. And that was it. Basically, Gunther got mad because Goldberg was spitting and shoveling sweat in his face. So he left. And that was the end of that segment. I said, y'all wasted our time. Y'all wasted our time in this. And I really hate that. I really hate it. He said, because we truly didn't need this for the title for this. And that's my whole point. That is my whole point. I'm all for y'all revisiting Gunther and Goldberg if that's what the people want to see. Me personally, that's going to be a match that I check out of. I'm probably going to get a snack or go use the bathroom or something for that. I have no desire to watch that match at all. But for those who want to watch it, be my guest. But here's the thing. There's no reason for you to involve the championship because Goldberg isn't going to get it. Even if he somehow finagles and gets that damn championship, it is only going to be for a minor amount of time. He will end up dropping it at whatever PLE or Monday Night Raw they deem, which is going to be next. So you have wasted not only Jey Uso's opportunity at having a decent title run, only for you to drop it to Gunther, for him to be a two-time champion, for him to go up against Goldberg, who could barely walk out there, let alone wrestle. I am all for you guys creating fantasy matches in real time. I'm all for that. But I expect some quality and I expect some creativeness that is worthwhile. Gunther and Goldberg didn't have to have a title in order for it to proceed forward. And you didn't have to cut off Jey Uso and then force him into this King of the Ring tournament where he has to go up against Cody Rhodes. Now, quite frankly, I am not mad at that they're going to be battling it out. That's just the nature of the beast. Sometimes in the business, they're going to have friends are going to have to fight. And since the wrestlers are friends naturally behind the scenes, they always are fighting their friends. Okay. That's not new news. But my thing is this: it didn't have to go this way. It just didn't. And I just wasn't, I'm just not interested. I'm just not interested in this at all. But like I said, I'm not gonna be shitting on nobody else who is. If this is what you want to see, then by all means, enjoy it. Enjoy it. So it's already booked. This is the first match that they have booked for Saturday Night Main Event. It looks like they are booking not only because they don't even have the full card for Saudi Arabia booked. And Saudi Arabia is next week. It is next weekend on the 28th. They do not have the full card for Saudi Arabia booked. Now they did just book Dominic Mysterio and AJ Styles for the Night of Champions. That is booked. It's ready to go. They have currently John Cena and CM Punk, the finals of the King and the Queen of the Ring tournament, and they got Dirty Dom versus what's his face? What's his name? AJ Styles. That's what's booked. Okay. So whatever makes y'all happy. You know what I'm saying? I'm all for it. I guess. Now something that wasn't shown on TV today was Jared. Jared, my homeboy from March with Mike's JT said he looked like Buck Nasty and what's his name? What's his name?
Like Buck Nasty and Silky Johnson.
Yes, Jared, give me some. Give me some.
As I go home, as I sip my drink, I'm sure somebody's spitting in. I gotta put water Buck Nasty's mama's dish. He said, I hate you and only you. I don't even know you, and I hate your gut.
Silky Johnson and Buck Nasty had an announcement today over on WWE in NXT, and this was during either the one of the commercials or it was before the show started. And essentially, they made an announcement that New Day were going to defend their tag team titles. However, they didn't say who they were going to defend their titles against. I assume they will defend these titles at Night of Champions at some point. Maybe, seeing as how the champions are supposed to be at Night of Champions, because it's Night of Champions. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but that is what happened. Yep, Buck Nasty and Silky Johnson was at Monday Night Raw, boasting about being champions and defending their championship, only for them to not defend their championship. So, hold tight, y'all. Let's see what y'all saying in the comments. Do you think they switch the belts and have Roxanne and Rock with Raquel? I have no idea. Um, is it possible? Yeah, yeah. And from my understanding, Nikki Bella claims she has no intention of leaving once she, because she's already come back. And this is not just a one and done thing where she's going to wrestle at Evolution. She claims she's going to be sticking around a lot longer, which. So it's very possible that once Liv is healed and ready to go, if the match can't happen at Evolution, then it will happen later on down the line. Or maybe you'll have the Bella twins inside that steel cage for War Games. If they could find a fourth person for Liv Morgan in them. I mean, they've already headlined War Games for the women before. What is Copycat? Is that an OG movie? It looks OG. Anyways. I bet she would stick around. She owes $200K a month. Ooh, that's messy, honey. That's messy. But it looks like Bailey and Becky are going to go at it. Bailey came out there and said her piece about Becky stealing her all moment at WrestleMania this year. And she clocked some T's. Becky Lynch is very insecure. This is why she constantly finds a way to steal someone else's light or shine. And when the people aren't giving her what she deems she deserves, she turns on them. She makes them be her biggest issue. When the issue is she's the one who walked away from wrestling in WWE over a year ago. It wasn't us. We're not the ones who told her to leave because she got beat by Liv Morgan. You couldn't hack it. You get beat, and all of a sudden now you want to go away and be quiet, or you lash out like a child and beat people down because you can't win. It's just it's a very insecure, toxic environment you curate. And Becky basically was just like, you like being number two. You don't have a problem with being at the bottom and then bringing other people up ahead of you. And Becky was like, no, I've been made my history. I'm a future Hall of Famer. I don't have to do anything else to solidify my space. But you do everything in your power to make sure you can steal other people's opportunities. And the biggest issue that I have with Becky, character-wise, is that she refuses to have any accountability for her mistakes. Any accountability. Why are you consistently blaming everybody else when you're the one who keep putting yourselves in these positions? No one asked you to return. You did that on your own. No one asked you to leave. You did that on your own. For some reason, you're so angry with the rest of the world about decisions that you have made. Nobody cares whether you stay or go. It's either you get in where you fit in. And if you don't want to help the next person get up, then don't be mad when they step on you and beat you, bitch. That's all that matters. You don't have to hold their hand and walk them through the door. But if they pushing you out the way because you're in the way, you can't get mad. You can't get mad, sis. That's the same thing you did to Lyra. You pissed at Lyra because Lyra was whooping your ass, and at every turn, she's a better wrestler than you. She's solid. You don't have the skills. You lack the talent, and you're mad. You're mad and in your feelings. You got over because the people put you over. If the people didn't respond to you the way that they did, your ass would have been sent home and released. Let's just keep it all the way real. If it ain't for the people, you would not be Becky Lynch, the man, right now. None of that would even be possible. So count your days, bitch. Count your motherfucking days. Now, Becky made it very clear that she would face off against Bayley at any given time, but she wasn't going to face her today, and it ain't going to be for her championship. She tried to slap the girl with this weak ass slap. I said, damn, girl, at least you could have done is put some damn ass in the slap. But then I thought about it, and she ain't got no ass to put in there. So Bailey punched the dog shit out of her. I saw one of the tape ends fly out, how hard she punched her. But child, she punched that girl in her face. And she went backstage. Now today, Nick Aldis was in charge because Adam thick ass was on vacation, which I love that for you, Adam. Okay, because you be always needing a drink and you be tired and everything else. Child, can you record from my computer for a cut off on me? You just be tired red, honey. Okay, so I'm very proud that you went and got you some rest and you was out there walking and having a good time and telling us all the tea for the day. Okay, so Nick made it very clear to Bayley that while she can't get her hands on Becky today, she will be able to wrestle Becky next week for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, what was interesting was this interaction between Bayley and Lyra. Now, Lyra was in the back calling Bayley, and Bayley was like, listen, Lyra, I had to do what was best for me. Okay, I understand you had your things going on, and I just wasn't talking to anybody. I was upset. I was in my feelings, and I had to get myself together before I could come back here. So I'm sorry if I left you out the loop, but that's just the way that it is. I would, if that was me, I'd have been like, you know what, cool. I understand. You know what I'm saying? Your mania moment was taken from you. You got beat up. I got you. Fully understand that. But we good? And then I'd have walked away. No, Lyra took offense. She mad. She in her feelings. Lyra sitting there and she like, well, I get it. You have to do what you got to do. But just know that if you win that championship, I'm going to do what I have to do. And I'm like, well, bitch, what the fuck that mean? Because I wasn't the one who was out there teaming with the bitch who attacked me. That was you, bird lady. Okay? That was you. Now, if you want to be mad, be mad at the bitch who betrayed you. I didn't betray you. I was the one who got my ass whooped and got my mania moment taken from me. You was at WrestleMania with this hoe on TV, smiling and shit like you about to fly your ass up to heaven with the tag team titles. Then you got your ass on Monday Night Raw and got beat and then got your ass whooped by your own partner. But you mad at me? Because I ain't return your funky ass phone calls? Bitch, I didn't want to. And I didn't have to. Like, one thing you got to get clear and understand, okay? Understand me well when I say this, bitch. Nobody owes you nothing. Baby don't owe you shit. She don't owe you nothing. And quite frankly, if we being real, at bare minimum, Bayley gave you the answer that you needed today. All you had to do was walk away and mind your fucking business. If your beef is with Becky, then keep it that way. Don't make another enemy that you don't have to have. Let's not do that. The fuck? That pissed me off. I was like, bitch, what the fuck? Girl. I feel that it'll be a triple threat at SummerSlam for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Sure. I ain't denying that. I heard a rumor that Lyra's gonna turn heel. I guess good for her. It doesn't really matter if she's a heel or a face, to be honest with you. It really don't. It serves her no purpose. I mean, I guess she would have to try to figure out how she would be able to portray that, seeing as how she's never really portrayed herself as a heel. But whatever, whatever makes her happy, or whatever makes Kratos happy is what makes Kratos happy. Shit, I don't. It really don't matter to me. It'll be a good story to watch. The girls will be fighting, and that's pretty much it. Now, like I told y'all earlier, Liv Morgan got injured, so she was not able to compete against Kairi Sane, so that match was scrapped. But the men's fatal four-way was given its opportunity. Before we get to that, Sami Zayn was asked backstage how he felt about going up against Randy Orton. And he made it very clear that he understood the magnitude of this. He said he didn't know how he was going to get back to the world championship, but he knew that he wanted the world championship and he was going after it. He made that very clear that he was going after a title and he finally got there. Now, all he got to do is get through Randy and then get to the end. Then here come Carrie. Carrie and basically like, oh, Rand. Oh, Brownie. Oh, poor Sammy. Such an optimist. He said, don't you understand that this is going to turn out the way it always turns out? You go up against Randy, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, and he's a Viper, and you're just you. You go out there and get your ass kicked. Randy Orton goes on to the finals of the King of the Ring tournament, and you come back here a loser again. That's the way it's always going to turn out because that's the way that it is. And Sammy was like, you know what? You always making sure to point out the negatives in everything. But let's talk about you, Carrion. I mean, when the chips are down and when shit really hit the fan, what do? No, you hide in the back, you hide in the shadows, always messing with other people's shit because you don't have nothing else to do. You're a coward. Because when everything fails that you've been trying to do, you sit in the back. You sit down. You be quiet. Or you're back here trying to play puppet master with everybody because you think you got it all under control. You think that you understand the game because you've already got everybody figured out, right? Now, I see what's going on here. You're a coward. You don't know how to pick yourself up when you fail. You just know that you failed. Because I may have failed a couple times. I may have done this, but I'm nowhere near a coward. I 1000% get myself up every single time and I keep fighting because I know what's meant for me and I know what I'm going to get. What do? No, you make sure to destroy everybody else's so they can't have it because, misery loves company. But I tell you what, Carrion, I got a little gift for you. Yeah, I got a gift for the devil himself. Ain't that nice? When I get done with King of the Ring, be it I'm King of the Ring or not, you ain't gonna have to worry about wondering whether I'm gonna be able to do what I need to do from here on out because I'm gonna demonstrate it on you. I'll make sure that you and I, whatever the fuck you think is going on here, it's ended immediately. Effective immediately. So Carrion goes, oh, I look forward to it. I'm like, I'm sure you do. Seeing as how you have nothing else to do. No matches, no rivalries, no feuds, no nothing. Anywhoosies. The only other thing that happened on Monday Night Raw was between Finn, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and of course AJ Styles. So let's start off with the Judgment Day family. They were backstage in their little powwow section. And of course, Liv Morgan was on her, she was on 1,000. And this is before she got injured. So I'm going to say what I need to say. Liv Morgan was back there. She went to Raquel and was like, come on, girl, we got work to do. We gotta go take this girl out. And Raquel was like, Liv, I'm not cleared. Like, I just got done with medical and I'm trying to get myself together. She's like, fine, I'll just handle it myself then. I'm like, girl, calm the fuck down. Okay. You crashing out every 2 seconds. It's unbecoming. Okay. Relax. You're gonna fuck around and your damn insinuations is gonna fall out because you're crying and shit all the time. Relax. Okay, it's not that fucking serious. It's one match with Kyrie saying you ain't even in the Queen of the Ring tournament. Find something to do, Livy Pooh. Okay. Anyways, so Dominic was sitting there talking to JD McDonough and to Finn Balor. And basically Dom was like, listen, we need to get AJ Styles together tonight because if I don't get him together tonight, he gonna stay on my ass. So Finn was like, oh, don't worry, Dom, we gonna be out there to help you out. You know what I'm saying? Because Dom was like, y'all focus on the tag team titles later, and we get this shit taken care of. Finn was like, oh, don't worry about it. We got you. Tag team titles next week. Got you on AJ Styles. And he was like, well, Finn, fam, broseph. You was supposed to take care of AJ Styles last week, but it seemed like AJ Styles is too much for you. So I'm just gonna have me and JD McDonough out there, and you pretty much stay in the back. Finn was like, all right, cool. Yeah, I'll stay back here. Y'all go out there and handle that. I hope you take care of it. So then Finn is back there being a messy king like he always is. He said something to Raquel, which I didn't get to quite catch that. Because y'all know I have to record and shit when I'm doing my watching wrestling, and it makes it very difficult for me to catch everything. I didn't get to quite hear what he said to Raquel, but she seemed like she ain't like what he said. I guess he was like saying, ooh, tough loss today, Raquel. And she was like, oh, thanks, man. You know. But anyways, he went to Roxanne and he was like, Roxanne, then Morgan needs some help. So since Raquel is down, let me tell you what we're gonna do. So I think if Liv hadn't gotten injured during her match with Kyrie Sane, Roxanne was probably gonna be sent out there to help her in that match, which would further add to the bullshit going on between Liv, Roxanne, Raquel, and the whole Judgment Day family. Ben is intentionally imploding this family from the inside out. Okay. He don't have nothing to do, child. Not a thing. Any whoosies. So that's all that happened on the show, really. It wasn't a lot going down, but it was enough. Now, the Fatal 4-Way was a good match. I'm not going to lie. The men pulled out very well, but it was very typical. You kind of figured how it was going to go. Between Bronson Reed attacking LA Knight last Friday and last Monday, LA Knight attacking Braun Breaker, and then, of course, Braun Breaker returning the favor Friday along with Bronson Reed. This is obviously shaking some tables and caused some issues. Now, what I thought was going to happen was that LA Knight was going to come out there the moment Bronson Reed got the W. But in all actuality, Bronson Reed ended up hitting Sheamus with his tsunami, but Jay Uso made the save in this match. Now, Jay Uso took a lot of damage. These are three very big men in this match. And for him to be in there, the odd man out, honestly, and for him to be at 75% capacity, this is nuts. Okay. He was taking an immense amount of damage, an immense amount. And a lot of it, he was not taking part in that match. He had some pieces, but a lot of it had to do with Rusev, Sheamus, and Bronson Reed. Now, there was too much interference going on. From Braun Breaker interfering in this match and costing people opportunities. Because as soon as, I think it was Jay Uso, I want to say it was Jay Uso, he ended up costing Jay Uso the opportunity to give Bronson Reed the edge. As that broke down, you saw that Sammy came out there. Sammy came out there attacking Braun Breaker, ended up getting thrown over the announcer's table at Corey Graves. Corey Graves was on commentary today. He was real happy that his daddy Kratos gave him his jaw back. I don't think it's permanent, but I'm sure he was very grateful. Anyways, Bronson Reed thought he had this in the bag. Went up on the top turnbuckle for the tsunami again. And of course, who showed up? Who showed up but LA Knight, honey? Okay, so you had LA Knight out there, Bronson Reed, you had Brian Breaker, LA Knight, you had who else was out there? Sami Zayn out there. This is all interference. Rusev never got back in the match. Sheamus barely got back in the match and was gone, but he was able to take out Bronson Reed. Jey Uso was able to take out Bronson Reed, take him down, and get the W on Bronson Reed. It was Penta that came out there. Penta came out there and took out Brian Breaker. So you had Brian Breaker getting laid out by Penta, Sami Zayn taking out Brian Breaker. You had all these people out there. It was so many people out there, including LA Knight. Okay. Then there was no Sheamus, no Rusev. Both of them were not in the match. They were gone. So it was just Jey Uso and Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed ended up getting hit with what? 2 frog splash. He got hit with a spear. And that was Murder She Wrote. Jey Uso ended up picking up the W. Now, of course, y'all daddy, Seth Rollins was not happy. He came out there mad as hell that his boys didn't make it through, despite them having the numbers game on their side. Now, he came out there to take out Jey Uso because he don't want Jey Uso to go to Night of Champions, and he definitely don't want him to get another opportunity at that World Heavyweight Championship. But he need to be more concerned about the rest of the people in the tournament rather than going after Jey Uso. It's no shade to Jey Uso, but Jey Uso is not 100%. So taking him out does nothing for you. You could have left him as a lamb to the slaughter for Cody Rhodes. And that's no shade to Jey Uso. Y'all know I love my distinguished twin. I'm just saying that man is at half capacity and Cody Rhodes isn't. Now, of course, once Seth set up to do his curb stomp, that's when Cody's music hit. And he came out there. Something very eerie was happening here. I don't like it. It leads me to believe that something is happening. Something is brewing behind the scenes that we are unaware of, and it's going to show its ugly head either at SummerSlam or at Saudi Arabia. But one of these shows is going to just have something that's going to be jaw-dropping happening, and y'all going to be pissed. Because the way these two were staring at each other, no matter how mad Seth Rollins pretended to be, the eerie calm that was over the both of them was strange, especially with Jey Uso being laid out in that ring. It almost looked like Cody was about to kick Jey Uso right in his face as he was sitting up. I didn't like it. It's eerie. It just gives me the creeps. It gives me the creeps. Mark my words when I tell you this, that something about this ain't right. I'm just leaving it at that. So now, Jey Uso, Jey Uso has beaten everybody in the Fatal 4-Way. And it is going to be Jey Uso versus Cody Rhodes next Monday in the Fatal 4-Way. In the finals of, I can't talk today. In the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. Now, the semifinals are going to happen on 2 separate shows. Friday is going to get Bliss and Asuka, and they're also going to get Randy and Sami Zayn. Monday is going to get Cody and Jey Uso, and they're also going to get Jade Cargill and Roxanne Perez. So we shall see how that all plays out. But baby, it's nuts around here. It is really, really nuts around here. But we're going to move on because NXT is tomorrow. And I hope y'all watch the show and y'all enjoy it because NXT is a good show. It deserves to have some love on it. All right. So the eliminator matches are set and ready to go. The girls are competing to determine who will compete against JC Jane at Evolution. Zarya will face off against Izzy Dame. You will have Thea Hale facing off against Jada Parker. Jordan Grace will face off against Lola Vice. And then lastly, we have Kaylani Jordan face off against Lash Legend. All right. And there are a few other things happening on the card for NXT. I'm sure this is going to include some Tony D'Angelo shit and the NXT champion and all the other kind of stuff. Mariah May is going to officially sign her NXT contract. I'm sure she'll have somebody come out there and give her her first match probably sometime next week. And then you have First Class and Trick Williams facing off against Elijah Inamura and Josh Briggs. Now, if you haven't been watching TNA, Trick Williams explained his alliance with First Class. I can be honest, I didn't get the chance to watch it, but that clip is up on YouTube on TNA's channel. Y'all should go over there and watch it so you can kind of understand why these three men are intertwined. To be fair, their characters have a similar aesthetic. The behavior of them is similar. It fits. I'm not surprised that they are all, intertwined with each other. Whatever works for them. But they will be on NXT tomorrow. All right. And there'll probably be some more stuff happening on NXT that just hasn't been announced. So I hope you guys tune in. And we will go over NXT on Wednesday. Now, here's the deal. Okay. Night of Champions is next week. It is on the 28th, I want to say. It's on the 28th. It comes on Saturday at 1 p.m. This is over in Saudi. It's a Saudi show. So if you don't get your ass up, okay, and get up and get your teeth washed, wash your ass, brush your teeth or whatever, you're going to miss it, okay? Come on at 1. Now, what they do have this week is their, I think it's this week. Is it this week for the press conference they're supposed to be doing? So there's a press conference that they're going to be doing, and it is for SummerSlam, but they're also going to be at WWE Fanatics, and John Cena and CM Punk are supposed to have a moment at that show as well. So they're going to have a lot going on. John Cena is supposed to be a part of that press conference for SummerSlam. SummerSlam is set to be in August on the 2nd and the 3rd. This is going to be in New Jersey. This is the first time it's a 2-night event. So we will see how that is going to play out. They need to start working to build that shit very soon, which I assume they will start after Saturday Night Main Event and Evolution. But I would have started earlier than that because they got a lot they got to do. They got a lot of work. There's a lot of work. But before we get into all of that, R-Truth, or rather Ron Killings, is going to be facing off against John Cena in a non-title bout on Friday Night Smackdown. This more than likely will be your main event. And of course, you have 2 of the semifinals happening with Sami Zayn and Randy Orton. And then, of course, you have the women's side with Asuka and Bliss. It's been a long time since we've seen Asuka over on SmackDown, so that's going to be a fun time. Okay? And then we have Clash at the Castle, which will be Clash in Paris, which will be happening on the 31st of August, literally 3 weeks after SummerSlam. And they will continue to be in Paris that Monday on September 1st. This is right before Sweeps Week, before they are supposed to have their alleged WWE draft once again. And then later on down the line in October, on Friday, Saturday, and Monday, WWE is set to take over Perth with their big pay-per-view Crown Jewel. All right. Now, the next one after this Night of Champions show is going to be Evolution and Saturday Night Main Event. This is going to be July 12th and July 13th. And this is where we're going to see Goldberg versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship over on Saturday Night Main Event. And lastly, WrestleMania is scheduled and set. Mania will be in Vegas next year. And it's been pushed back even further. April 19th and April 18th. This is a 2-night event. They're going to be back in Vegas at Allegiant Stadium on 2026. If you are going, congratulations. You got money. The rest of us are just going to be sitting at home watching wrestling. With all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you guys on Wednesday when we have Freestyle Wednesday and we talk about NXT. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more wrestling content. Check out our merch and consider becoming a member for exclusive perks, special emojis, and members-only content.